In Australia, sheep outnumber people nearly 3 to 1, over 70 million spread across sweeping plains. From dusty paddocks to bustling world markets, each animal carries a destiny far larger than itself. Their wool may be spun into coats on Paris runways, their meat sizzling on grills in Dubai, their milk aged into cheeses treasured in Italy. Behind every sheep lies a global journey of resilience, transformation, and billion-dollar trade. Welcome to AgroWorks USA, where we uncover the untold stories of farming and food production. In this video, we trace the path of sheep from wide paddocks to global markets. You'll see how farmers manage vast flocks under harsh conditions, how modern factories process meat and wool with precision, and how one animal's life can ripple across fashion, cuisine, and culture. It's a story of resilience, scale, and transformation. So join us on this remarkable journey, and if you love discovering how agriculture shapes our world, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories from AgroWorks USA. The history of sheep in Australia stretches back more than 200 years, when the first Merino sheep arrived on unfamiliar shores. For early settlers, these animals were more than livestock. They were survival itself, offering wool for warmth, meat for food, and a foothold in a distant colony. Within decades, wool was hailed as white gold, transforming quiet outposts into thriving centers of shearing sheds and shipping docks. But the influence of sheep ran deeper than commerce. In rural towns, the shearing season became both hard labor and celebration. Shearers racing in dusty sheds, families gathering by open fires, songs carrying into the night. Life itself seemed measured by the bleating of flocks and the steady thump of wool presses. For generations, Australians believed their nation rode on the sheep's back. Flocks built railways, funded schools, and carried prosperity across oceans to London markets. In every fleece lay not just fine fibers, but the woven threads of endurance, wealth, and national identity. Sheep in Australia live across one of the most diverse landscapes on Earth. In the outback, the land stretches endlessly, painted in red dust where summer temperatures can scorch above 45 degrees and rainfall may vanish for months. Here, grass is sparse and waterholes are treasures more precious than gold. Yet sheep endure, nibbling at every dry blade the land offers. Far from the desert heart, coastal pastures tell another story. These regions remain green for much of the year, nourished by sea breezes and seasonal rains, providing softer ground and richer forage. In the cool highlands, frosts whiten the fields, and sheep grow thick coats of wool as protection against the biting cold. Meanwhile, vast inland plains swing between abundance and scarcity, their cycles dictated by unpredictable rains. This range of environments, from desert heat to mountain chill, has not only shaped the survival of Australia's sheep, but also created a unique rhythm of life where climate and land decide the fate of each flock. Are you surprised that sheep can survive both in deserts and in freezing highlands? Do you think they thrive better on lush green pastures or the dry Australian outback? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you find this fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to follow AgroWorks USA. Behind every fleece and cut of meat lies the daily rhythm of care. Sheep in Australia are not left to chance. Their survival depends on careful management of diet and health. On sprawling stations where a single farm may span thousands of acres, grazing land is rotated to protect fragile pastures and prevent soil erosion. Farmers balance natural forage with supplementary feed, especially during drought years when grasses wither to dust. This feed often includes grains, hay, and protein-rich pellets designed to maintain growth and wool quality. Water is equally vital. Underground bores pump lifelines to troughs scattered across paddocks, ensuring sheep remain hydrated in searing heat. Regular health checks are routine. Vaccinations guard against parasites and disease, while mineral supplements strengthen bones and wool fiber. Lambs particularly are monitored closely during their first months, as their nutrition sets the stage for future productivity. This system of care is both science and tradition, a blend of veterinary precision and generational wisdom. By maintaining balanced nutrition, farmers not only keep sheep alive in a harsh land, but ensure the animals thrive, producing wool and meat that meet the world's highest standards. The life of a sheep in Australia is shaped not only by shifting seasons, but by vigilant care across diverse landscapes, from Tasmania's coast to New South Wales plains and the arid edges of the outback. From birth, lambs rely on their mother's milk, rich in antibodies that build early immunity, though orphans or multiples may be fed milk replacers to ensure survival and steady growth. Soon after, they receive essential vaccinations against clostridial diseases and parasites that flourish in warmer conditions. Farmers add strict biosecurity, fencing, quarantine, and rotational grazing to shield flocks of thousands from sudden outbreaks. As sheep grow, routine care defines their rhythm. Hoof trimming prevents lameness, while targeted drenching controls internal worms. Fly strike, among the deadliest threats, is monitored constantly. Preventive shearing and treatment keep flocks safe. These practices merge veterinary science with generations of practical knowledge. The cycle runs through market age, 6 to 12 months for meat lambs, while Merinos may live a decade, shorn annually for their fine wool. At every stage, humane handling and low-stress transport balance welfare, productivity, and sustainability. In your opinion, what's more important in a sheep's life? Maintaining health or maximizing productivity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Each year, as the seasons turn cooler, a centuries-old ritual begins: shearing. Skilled shearers, some capable of handling over 200 sheep in a single day, move with speed and precision. In just a few minutes, the fleece is removed in one continuous piece, a shimmering blanket of raw wool. For the animal, the process is not only routine, but also necessary, preventing overheating in Australia's harsh climate. Once harvested, the wool enters a meticulous chain of refinement. First comes sorting and grading, where experts assess fiber diameter, length, and strength. The finest merino wool measures just 16 to 24 microns, thinner than a human hair, earning its reputation as the world's most luxurious fiber. From here, the fleece is scoured to remove lanolin, dirt, and vegetable matter, losing nearly half its weight but revealing a clean, soft staple. Finally, the wool is carded, combed, and spun into yarn, ready for transformation. What began on a sheep's back in the Australian sun may soon glide across Parisian runways or be tailored into a suit worn on Wall Street. journey of lamb from pasture to plate follows a carefully regulated chain built on both science and ethics. Once slaughtered, the carcass is swiftly processed. Hides, organs, and inedible parts are removed, leaving only clean, high-quality meat. Precision technology then takes over. Laser-guided cutters and smart grading systems divide each carcass into perfect portions. From ribs and loins to shoulders and legs, the result is consistency and efficiency for both local butchers and global markets. From the factory floor, the cold chain begins. Cuts are vacuum sealed and chilled before being transported by refrigerated trucks to ports, loaded into temperature-controlled containers and shipped across oceans. Every stage safeguards freshness. By the time lamb arrives in Europe's supermarkets, the Middle East's luxury restaurants, or Asia's kitchens, it is ready to become smoky grills, tender roasts, or refined gourmet dishes, proving how one life in Australia fuels tables around the world. No breed has defined Australia's place in the world quite like the Merino. Celebrated for its incredibly fine wool, the Merino supplies nearly 80% of all premium apparel fibers globally, an extraordinary dominance that secures Australia's role as the #1 exporter. Each year, over 760 million pounds of merino wool flow abroad, generating more than 3 billion Australian dollars and turning remote sheep stations into engines of international commerce. The ripple effects reach far beyond the farm gate. Sydney and Melbourne wool auctions set global benchmarks, with elite bales of superfine merino fetching tens of thousands of dollars, destined for luxury brands in Paris, Milan, and New York. This trade sustains tens of thousands of rural jobs, binding shearers, classers, and transporters into a supply chain that fuels both livelihoods and prestige. Merino wool is not merely a textile, it is a symbol of resilience and prosperity, a thread that ties Australia's rugged landscapes to the runways and wardrobes of the world. Have you ever worn merino wool before? Do you believe merino truly deserves the title of white gold of Australia? Share your experience in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to keep exploring with AgroWorks USA. Sheep farming in Australia is bound not only to markets, but also to the fragile balance of land and ethics. Vast flocks grazing across wide landscapes can strain ecosystems if left unchecked. Overgrazing erodes soils, reduces biodiversity, and drought makes every drop of water more precious. To safeguard the land, many producers now practice rotational grazing, plant native grasses, and invest in water-saving systems, proving that resilience of the industry depends on resilience of the environment. Equally pressing is animal welfare. Practices like mulesing, meant to protect sheep from fly strike, have stirred heated debate, symbolizing the difficult trade-offs between health and humane care. Responding to global consumer pressure, farmers are turning to alternatives: selective breeding, targeted treatments, and more humane management. Thus, every fleece and cut of meat carries a larger story. It is not only about production, but about choices. Choices that determine whether Australia's sheep industry is remembered for profit alone, or for its respect toward land, animals, and the future. From the softness of merino wool to the savor of roasted lamb, the journey of sheep tells more than just an agricultural story. It is a story of resilience, culture, and global connection. Each fleece, each cut, each flavor carries with it the labor of farmers and the history of a land where animals and people have thrived together for centuries. But what do you think? When you wear a wool coat or enjoy a lamb dish, do you see only a product, or do you feel the legacy of a living tradition? If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to AgroWorks USA, and ring the bell so you never miss the next story from Farm to Future. Thank you for watching.